everyone. Welcome back to the Cup Half Full podcast, where we talk all things silver linings and inspiration for the leveling up minds. I'm your host, Martika Shanel, and today we have a critical topic that we're discussing. Because life can throw curveballs at us at any given point. And some of us have experienced that as of late, given the current climate. And some of us have experienced that through abrupt endings to relationships, or a health scare, or even just a particularly rough week. However, our ability to bounce back, to not just survive, but to emerge stronger, is what truly defines us. And how do we tap into this inner strength? How do we cultivate resilience and become masters of the comeback? That's exactly what we'll be exploring in this episode. So let's start by understanding what resilience actually is. It's not about being immune to hardship. Resilient people experience just as much pain and difficulty as anyone else. The key difference lies in their ability to adapt and recover from those experiences. Think of a willow tree in a storm. What does it do? It bends, it sways, but it doesn't break. And that is the key. That is the essence of resilience. But resilience isn't some fixed trait you're either born with or you're not. It's actually a muscle. And it's something that we can train and that we cultivate along the way. The more you use it, the stronger your ability to bounce back becomes. And the good news is there are concrete steps that we can incorporate into our lives to help us build and nurture our inner resilience. And the first key strategy, the first key step in that is cultivating a growth mindset. This is foundational. And I want to tell you all, the first time that I learned about growth mindset was when I was a language arts instructor for a local community technical college system campus in central Kentucky. And I remember going to the supply closet to get some necessities for class, and I stumbled upon a book titled Growth Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck. I read the back, sounded intriguing, and as I'm reading, I, for the first time, can put a name on the trait that I had my entire life. Having a growth mindset. Knowing that hard work and dedication will take you anywhere, and that your mind is a very powerful tool that will allow you to rise above your current circumstance if you'll let it. And you've probably, and it's all about just reframing your mindset and your perspective on things. I know Oprah is infamous for stating, during the time of a crisis or an abrupt change in things, is questioning, what is this here to teach me? And that is an excellent starter whenever you're in the thick of anything. Instead of looking through the lens and perspective of, woe is me, why is this happening to me? No, question what you're to learn from that particular situation. And other ways that you can begin to cultivate a mindset, if you don't already have one, is instead of saying things like, I'm not good at this, how about reframing that and saying, I'm not good at this yet? Or this is impossible. Instead of, what can I learn from this challenge? Same thing as we initially talked about. And also just focusing on the effort and learning in that particular predicament. So you're celebrating your progress along the way and not just waiting on the outcome to give yourself a pat on the back. Those are the aspects of the initial step in becoming resilient, having a growth mindset and cultivating that. Another is building that strong social connection. We all need people. We all do. And especially whenever we're going through a trying time, you simply need comfort from someone who knows you. Someone who you can pick up the phone, maybe they're just there to listen, or they're able to stop by and simply just be in your presence as you are going through your certain situation, whatever it is. And so it's important for us to invest in our relationships. We're nurturing them. We are ensuring that we're doing our part, because it is a two-way street. You shouldn't be the only one reaching out each time, and nor should you be on the receiving end of that. So check in with your loved ones and your close friends. The other one is not being afraid to ask for help. And this is something, you all, that I instill in my children. From the time that they were younger, just letting them know that asking for help is a sign of strength. It's a sign of strength. So do that. And also offering support to others. Whenever you are going through whatever you're going through, sometimes the best way to just give you a little tiramisu, a little pick-me-up, is to see how you can help someone else. So remember to do that whenever you are experiencing a trying time. Another one is practicing self-care. You all know that I'm all about this. And this consists of a variety of things, all the way down to just your sleep habit. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you hydrating yourself? Essentially the things that your parent or guardian, whenever you were coming up, were reminding you of things to do. Are you currently doing those for yourself as an adult? Also, moving your body, ensuring that you're getting out, that whenever you're working, getting your steps in. We're not meant just to be workhorses, right? Get out, experience nature, do your walk around the building. If there's a trail near your office or near your home, get out and actually connect with nature. It does wonders. It does wonders for your soul. And just making time for relaxation and activities that you enjoy. So whatever you choose to do for escapism or to just have some sort of reprieve from what seems to be the confinements of life to some degree, do those things and ensuring that we are incorporating those. And, just in essence, because I'll have to wrap this up, in essence, cultivating mindfulness and self-awareness, understanding who you are, and I mean to the core. So you're practicing your mindfulness techniques. So this includes journaling, maybe doing a gratitude journal or reflection journal of some sort of stream of consciousness where you're just running out your thoughts, meditation, whatever that looks like for you, we're incorporating that routinely. We're also paying attention to what our body is telling us. So if we feel tense in certain situations or in certain environments, taking a step back and reflecting on that. Why am I feeling like this? What is this saying? Analyzing that. Because are these feelings of being stressed and overwhelmed? And if so, figuring out how can I remove something? How can I stop spinning one of my plates so that I can be in a place where of calm and of peace, where I'm centered? Another important one that I like is identifying your coping mechanisms. In order to do that, we also have to understand what our triggers are. And this is something that I discuss in depth in my book, my Red Flags book, What to Do with These Red Flags, because we all have situations where we feel triggered. And in order to have a healthy relationship with ourselves, we have to understand what those are so that we know how to cope and how to healthily address those things so that we are living a balanced life. And then lastly, it's learning to regulate your emotions. Are you reactive to certain situations versus taking the time maybe to take a step back and respond in a meaningful way? Or is it whatever's at the top of the mind at the hour, at that time? That's what we're doing. So ensuring that we are able to do that, and also that we're not allowing another person's emotions to affect our emotions. Because if you are steadfast and you have an excellent understanding of who you are, it's very difficult for someone to change your emotional state during a time of revelation or a time where it's tense, because you're certain of who you are and you can have a better analysis of the situation and what's really going on. So those are 3 areas, and we'll do another episode, part 2 of this, just to go into more in depth on other strategies that we can implement as well, and other principles to get us to being the most resilient individuals that we can be, because we have to be. And we have to be resilient. We have to have the ability to bounce back from situations that are unfavorable for us. So let me know, have you implemented any of these? Let me know, share in the comments. I'm interested to know what's worked for you. Like I said, we'll cover some additional ones in our upcoming episode. And thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in to the Cup Half Full. I'm your host, Martika Shanel, and I wish you peace, joy, and unconditional happiness. Good day.